Hello and welcome to another Radical Red Challenge run. I'm using another Champions team, and today I'm using Diantha's team from Kalos. It is an unusual team. There's not really a theme, other than most of the mons being from Kalos. That's pretty much all they have in common. But there have been some changes to the mons in terms of abilities and moves. I'm going to get into it now. We have leftovers Gudra, calm-natured, with the gooey ability, Ice Beam, Dragon Pulse, Toxic Protect, bit of support, bit of damage, should be able to live some hits, and get some hits off in return. We have the Holucha, Adamant Nature, holding the Citrus Berry. It has the Unburden ability, which means once I've got Citrus, the speed's going to double. We've got Sword Stance, Flying Press, Acrobatics, and Endeavour. I am going to give Holucha the Mental Herb on certain battles when the mons have Taunt. I have the Mega Gardevoir. It has Trace right now, that changes to Pixelate when it Mega Evolves. Psychic, Recover, Hyper Voice, which becomes Fairy type, and Calm Mind, pretty standard Gardevoir set. Hopefully get to set up and do a lot of damage. Focus Sesh, Tyrantrum, Adamant Nature yet again, Rock Head, so we can do the most damage possible with Head Smash and not take any recoil. Earthquake, Assault, and Scale Shot, round out the moveset for a bit of coverage, a bit of priority, and a bit of a chance to set up. Choice Scarf, Aurorus, with Snow Warning for the first battle, because we're facing Lorelai's Water team, and we want to get rid of the weather. We have Protect, Diamond Storm, and Boomburst and Freeze Dry. Diamond Storm and Boomburst I think are exclusive to Radical Red for Aurorus, and we changed it to Refrigerate so it becomes an Ice type Boomburst. Bold Natured Gorgeist is the last mon with Flare Boost. Boost special attack when we're burned. Giga Drain, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, Worry Seed mainly for Dialga to get rid of its primal armor, and meaning that it can't use Rest. Other than that, it's a pretty standard moveset on Gorgeist. Should be able to live some hits and get some big hits off. Up first is Lorelai. I am of course facing the Water team. The Drizzle gets set up, so I'm going to Toxic turn 1. Will-O-Wisp the Ogerpon. After we live the knockoff, really limiting the Ogerpon's damage output. Unfortunately, I missed the Politoed, so that stayed healthy. Goldgeist goes down to the Skull, but Gudra still stays healthy. I'm then able to send in Aurorus, set up the Snow, which is going to boost Aurorus' defense. And because of the burn, Gudra actually takes nothing from the play rough. We're able to get a Freeze Dry off with Aurorus, take out the Ogerpon, as Politoed goes for Rain Dance to reset up the rain. Kyogre comes out, sets up the Primordial Sea. I mean, I can't really change the weather right now. I do just go for the Freeze Dry with Aurorus on the Kyogre, because I really want to limit the amount of damage it can do with Origin Pulse, so any chip is good chip. I do get lucky with the Frostbite, meaning its special attack is now half, and now it's really going to do a lot less damage. I am going to take this opportunity to send in to Protect and Freeze Dry one more time with Aurorus, lower down the Kyogre's health even more, and mean it's not really that big of a threat. Here I do send in Gardevoir. I was going to send it in earlier, but I wanted a clean switch, because I'm able to Mega Evolve, outspeed, get the double KO with the Hyper Voice, and put myself in a pretty good position. There should be no more rain on Lorelai's side of the field, because both the rain sets are now get dead. I now have the Walking Wake and Iron Bundle to deal with. I just go for Hyper Voice again with Guard of War, one-shot the Walking Wake, and bring the Iron Bundle down to its sash. Go for Hyper Voice again, because I should outspeed the Swampert. The Iron Bundle should always go Ice Beam into Goodra. Finish off the Iron Bundle, get a bit of chip on the Swampert, but unfortunately then God of War does go down. I am in a pretty good position though. I have the Focus Sash on the Tyrantrum, and Hawlucha, who is super strong. I go for the Flying Crest with Hawlucha, Scale Shot from Tyrantrum, down goes the Swampert, and we beat Lorelei. Up next is Bruno. He of course leads with his Infernape. I lead with my Tyrantrum. I've given it the Mental Herb for the fight against Bruno, so then I can bait the Taunt from Infernape, get a couple of Scale Shots off, and prevent Stealth Rocks coming up on my side of the field. Unfortunately, even at +2, Tyrantrum still gets outsped by Zacian, but it's fine because I can send out my Hawlucha, who's able to go for the Endeavour. I was expecting the attack straight away from Zacian, but I'm able to go for the Endeavour the second time, outspeed thanks to the Focus Sash proccing, and setting up my Unburden. I could have probably set up a Swords Dance that first turn, and then I would have actually taken out the Komodo and probably could have swept. But I was, like I said, I was expecting the Zacian to attack turn 1. Luckily it doesn't matter, because Gorgeist is able to come in, tank the Clanging Scales, hit a Shadow Ball, and take out the Komodo. This forces in Iron Valiant. Shadow Ball does of course take out Gorgeist, but this is a good position for God of War to come in. Mega Evolve, and tank Shadow Ball, fire off a Psychic, and finish off the Iron Valiant. Lucario then comes in. I do have to switch here into my Goodra. I'm expecting the Bullet Punch here. We trigger the Gooey, so now I should, hopefully, outspeed the Lucario. Be able to get a Dragon Pulse off, do some bit of chip damage. As the close combat comes out, we get another Gooey drop, meaning it's now -2, but both my remaining Mons are weak to Steel-type moves. I end up sending in Aurorus here, go for the Diamond Storm, hoping for the defense buff. I get it. The Chople Berry helps me live the hit. And then at +2, I'd be able to live a Bullet Punch, so I'm able to just fire off a Boom Burst, which is boosted by being a really strong move. The Aurorus goes down to a close combat from Urshifu, but I'm in a pretty good position with God of War able to come out. I do end up recovering, trying to bait the Sucker Punch, go for the Hyper Voice on the next turn, one-shot the Urshifu, leaving just the Infernape left. Because I have Calm Mind, it's always going to go for Taunt, so I can just Hyper Voice, finish it off, and beat Bruno. Leading me through to Agatha. I once again lead with Tyrantrum, holding the Mental Herb, get the Scale Shot off on the lead Zoroark, get to +1 speed. Unfortunately I do get a low roll on the number of hits, but one more Scale Shot is able to take out the Zoroark, and now we're +2. Roaring Moon then comes in. I do go for Scale Shot again, hoping for 5 hits. I do get enough. It turned out 4 was enough to take out the Roaring Moon, and we're able to take it down. Here I did think about switching, because I didn't want the Mars Shadow getting all my buffs. But luckily it just goes for Shadow Sneak. I'm able to go for Scale Shot one more time, get the 5 hits, bring it down to red. I am still taunted, so I can't go for Stealth Rocks, so I just let Tyrantrum go down. But it did a lot of work, dealing serious damage to Agatha's team. Here, against the Mars Shadow, I send out Gudra, because I know it's going to be able to take a hit. And even if it doesn't, it'll slow down the Mars Shadow and put it at -1 speed. We do live, land the Dragon Pulse, finish off the Mars Shadow, in comes the Golden Go, protect the Scout, and get a bit of Lefty's recovery. I do get paralysed with Thunder Wave, hit the Dragon Pulse, mainly to break the Golden Go's blue. Make it rain, then does massive damage. I go for the Ice Beam, hoping for a freeze if I'm lucky. It didn't work out that way, but now the Golden Go is getting weaker and weaker because it keeps going for Make It Rain, lowering its special attack each time. It is still strong enough to take out Gorgeist, but now I believe it's -4 special attack, so I'm not too scared about it. I go for the Swords Dance on Hawlucha, as the Golden Go does go for Thunder Wave. Make It Rain doesn't do a lot. I go for the Acrobatics. We get paralysed, and Hawlucha does end up going down. The reason I had to send in Hawlucha there is because I had to get the Golden Go a little bit weaker before I could send in God of War. Because God of War can 1v1 the Golden Go. One Calm Mind, with how low its special attack has got with Make It Rain, means I'm taking virtually no damage. I do get paralysed, but I'm not too worried, because most of the rest of Agatha's mons outspeed anyway, and I think the remaining mons are special attackers, so I can just set up those Calm Minds. I go for the Psychic on the Gengar, as it does go for a Shadow Ball, doesn't do any damage. I one-shot, leaving just the Chi-Yu left. I'm able to go for the Hyper Voice. I unfortunately don't live the Dark Pulse, but I have Aurorus in the back. It no longer has Snow Warning, it now has Refrigerate, which is why the snow didn't come out. That makes Boom Burst an Ice-type move and super strong. Diamond Storm is the right play here because it's super effective and it's a Rock-type move. 2 Diamond Storms, finishes off the Chi-Yu, finishes off Agatha, and we make our way through to Lance. Against Lance, I always like facing against the Aerodactyl team, because it always guarantees the taunt if I'm running a setup move. I am able to get the Stealth Rocks off with Tyrantrum. As the Mental Herb gets procced, go for a Scale Shot on the next turn. Only hit 4 times, so we don't actually take out the Aerodactyl. But then I send in my Hawlucha, as the Aerodactyl goes for Stealth Rock. I am also holding the Mental Herb on Hawlucha, because I can set up the Swords Dance and trigger the Unburdened boost. So now I'm +2 attack, incredible speed. I've given Hawlucha high jump kick specifically for the Melmetal. We take it out. Thanks to the Stealth Rocks, Acrobatics guarantees killed the Iron Jugulus. We guaranteed killed the Dragonite. Against the Primal Dialga, I do go for high jump kick again, do massive damage, and Hawlucha did what it needed to do in this fight. We got rid of basically half of Lance's team. I'm able to send in my God of War. He's able to get a Hyper Voice off against the Dialga, finish it off, leaving the Salamence left. I go for a Hyper Voice again, with Gardevoir. I unfortunately don't live the double edge, but I have more than enough in the back to where Salamence isn't really that big of a threat. I can just switch to Aurorus at any point, but I want to slow down the Salamence first with the Gooey from Goodra. The recoil is really stacking up right now, and the Salamence is basically killing itself. I go back into Hawlucha though, go for the Acrobatics, finish it off. I didn't even need to use my Ice type against Lance. And I can make my way through to the champion. Against the Pheromosa, I lead Goodra. Triggering the Gooey with the Triple Axle. I'm holding the Citrus Berry, so then I guaranteed live 3 hits. And get the Pheromosa to -3. I go for the Dragon Pulse. Go for the Dragon Pulse again to take it out. And in comes Ditto. This is probably best case scenario, because I can protect to scout what it's going to go for. It's going for Ice Beam, which isn't the best move. I was hoping it was going to be Dragon Pulse, then I could have freely sent in Gardevoir and set up a bunch of Calm Minds. But Ice Beam's still okay, because with the Calm Mind and Recover on my set, I can stay relatively healthy and got really buffed up. He doesn't let me do that, he only lets me set up 1 before he switches out into Yveltal. I do go for Calm Mind again on the Sucker Punch here, then just go for the Hyper Voice because I'm strong enough to take out the Yveltal here. Eternatus comes in, goes for the Meteor Beam, does pretty big damage to Gardevoir. Fortunately, I do live and stay at about half HP. Miraidon, I'm not too scared about because it's a special attacker. Even in the electric terrain, it doesn't do a lot with Parabolic Charge. I'm able to get my HP back, go for another Hyper Voice, one-shot the Miraidon, and in comes the Metagross, where I do have to actually switch. Unfortunately, I don't really have a great switch, because I need to burn the Metagross with my Gourgeist, and I need it full health. And Fire Punch does well over half. We do land the Will-O-Wisp, meaning I'm in a pretty good position right now. I'm able to live another Shadow Ball thanks to the reduced attack, another Fire Punch thanks to the reduced attack, fire off a Shadow Ball, then Headbutt takes me out, but the burn takes out the Metagross, a pretty great trade from Gourgeist. Here I'm able to send in Hawlucha against the Ditto. I win this exchange with Ditto because I have Swords Dance. I can trigger the Citrus Berry from the Acrobatics, meaning that I now have the Unburden boost. Acrobatics is also boosted, finish off the Ditto, and finish off the champion. Diantha's team is super fun to use, especially Hawlucha. It's great changing around the items, looking for which items work best against specific teams, and when they're going to trigger, so then you can trigger the Unburden boost with the Swords Dance, get the Acrobatics powered up, and do some serious damage to the Elite Four and the champion.